All right, so this has just been an absolutely terrible month for black women. I have to say, and I say it's rightfully deserved. Not all black women, the black women who watch woke progressive, they're pretty decent women. But outside of the few black women that watch this channel, God, we're just talking about just a bunch of cultural nonsense, a bunch of cultural filth at this point. But this month has just been a terrible month for black women, and I'll tell you why. For one, they are they're proposing cutting the Section 8 program. Did you hear about that? The White House proposes elimination of Section 8 housing vouchers. And I think that's a good idea. I think they should have shut down the projects a long time ago. For decades now, the projects has always been the worst side of town. It's been always been the place. You lock your doors if you're driving through that part of town, and it's just been the breeding ground of these absolute degenerates, degenerates like King Von, degenerates like Lil Durk, and any other rapper you can think of. They'll happily tell you, "Hey man, I'm from the projects," and it would be one thing if these Section 8 projects, if they were producing lawyers, doctors, philosophers. If the government was actually giving these people assistance and they were coming out better people, people that were ready to restore the degenerate communities from which they're from, then I'd say, hey, maybe we shouldn't cut this program. But that's not what we see. What we see Section 8 become is what we've seen it become is a program that disproportionately affects black women. Let's see if we can find that. I had it pulled up here. Duh, 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 duh. It's accurate that black women are disproportionately affected by the Section 8 housing program voucher. And what we see with that is it's not regular black women. It's not black women that are trying to do the right thing. Oftentimes it's not. Typically, the black women who get Section 8 housing vouchers are women that have very low morals. They're women who go around sleeping with a bunch of men, sometimes for money, sometimes for free. And they get these Section 8 housing vouchers not as a way to grow themselves, not as a way to build themselves up. They use it as a lifelong handout from the government. And what they do, they'll raise their Lil Durks, they'll raise their King Vons, and they'll grow to be violent and degenerate and without a father. And this cycle just repeats itself. So that's an L for black women. Black women got to hold that L. But I'd say that's not even the biggest L that black women got to hold this month. Did you see this? Let's go to this article. In April 2025, even though April was last month, the April jobs report comes out the subsequent month. The jobs, how the job reports work. And so the news came out this month. In April 2025, black women experienced losing a total number of 106,000 jobs. This occurred despite the overall U.S. economy adding 175,000 jobs, with the unemployment rate for black women rising to 6.1%. And now, of course, black people, it's not just black women, black people don't have any type of accountability. Okay, this is the time to think amongst ourselves. Why is that? Why are black women losing jobs? Well, for one, a lot of these were DEI jobs that were created during the George Floyd era, during the Joe Biden era, where companies were kissing up to black women. You had companies like Goldman Sachs who pledged $100 billion to black female leadership, which is absolutely destructive. Black women should never lead the black community. And you had these businesses like Target creating these DEI programs simply for do nothing purposes. What does a DEI job consist of? Well, it consists of nothing. It's just a do nothing job. It's literally just hiring somebody that's a black woman simply for the sake that they're a black woman. And so that's shutting down now in the Trump era. And what the mistake that a lot of black folks will make, and this is the point I was making earlier. A lot of black folks will say, "Well, this is white racism." They want to kick the black women out of their houses. The black woman who had 4 kids, 4 different baby daddies, knowing she didn't have anybody's job and looking for a handout. The government is being racist. This isn't about accountability. This is about racism. Rather than take accountability, we're going to just simply blame folks for racism. Blame the white man rather than blame our own cultural deficiencies. And you may ask, what type of cultural deficiencies are there in the black community? Well, that brings us to this show that we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at a short trailer from this show. That's a show by the name of Baddies. Baddies. Now, they have different iterations of this show because it's so popular, primarily amongst black women. And what is it a show about? Well, it's a show about fighting and fucking. That's it. It's literally a show where they get cameras. It's like a reality TV show. And they literally just film these women fighting, cussing, twerking, just being all sorts of degenerate. And if black women had any sense, if black folks, period, had any sense, we'd see shows like this. We'd protest it off the air. We say, no, we don't want this type of cultural representation. This is embarrassing. We love it. Me as someone who loves black women, I say, take this off the air. This is sickening. This is sickening. Why would you want this type of image for yourself? But what black women do, black women would love to engage in this type of cultural filth, this type of cultural degeneracy. And if people call it out, if you're white, they're going to call it racist. If you're black like me, they're going to say, oh, you're a coon. They're going to say, oh, you're against your own people. You're not for the culture. But I want to take a look at this trailer from Baddies. I want you to see it and tell me, why aren't more people talking about just how bad and degenerate this show is? Let's take a look.
Supposed to be a wild time.
Oh my gosh.
You already know.
I ain't never seen it live, and it's a lot of girls this season.
It's too many girls.
It's a lot of girls this season.
I apologize to my family and to all my fans, because you lied. You said
Do you really think you're gonna get that apology out of Dominic?
If not, the bitch square up.
Oh, okay.
Give a fuck.
Now she's online picking with me like Dominic. Nobody's giving you the time of day.
She does shit for clout. She makes it be known.
But at the end of the day, y'all bitches supposed to be here for yourself.
Gonna get in my 5 feet range.
Yeah.
6 feet, bitch. Because my thing's too long.
Yeah.
Because tonight you have to stand on all your shit.
You have to.
I don't trust none of these hoes for their 15 minutes of fucking fame. Okay?
I want to stand like this. This is how I want to stand and sit. Like nobody in back of me.
For the first time ever, we have a live audience.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling the energy. I love it.
You just be saying anything on the internet.
Is Tommy an internet bitch?
Asian, why'd you take your shoes off?
Because, baby, I gotta be ready.
Well, who you got smoke with?
I don't know what you fucking her baby daddy.
I don't know him. Never met him in my life.
What the fuck she so mad for?
That is your imaginary friend, and you
Teddy has his own thoughts.
Teddy is not real.
What beef ends in is death. That's the only way.
You're not the only one getting smacked
today.
I promise you. I ain't showing no favor.
No ticket.
You can run it or you can run it.
let's not do that.
You're always
Let's not do
fresh.
that.
I
You're
rebuke
fresh.
that in the name of Jesus.
Shut your fat ass up,
Every time she run
up, she gonna get hit with it.
Yeah.
Me and Starfire gonna get into it. What would me and you be getting into it about? Send no hit at me, nigga. Nothing like this.
Are we lining it up? Are we talking? Like, come on. Bro, you was on TV for 3 seconds. But I'm here with you on stage.
All this bitches.
All right. That's enough of that, miss. Isn't that just embarrassing? That's enough of that. I can't even look. I can't even get through the whole trailer. Isn't that just absolutely and stunningly embarrassing? And one of the people that were on the show, her name is Meatloaf. I don't know if you remember Meatloaf, but Meatloaf. Let's see if we can find her here on Google. Meatloaf Baddies. Meatloaf is famous for rioting and looting. All right, you know how niggas act. somebody got shot by the police, or I think this time they were just doing it for fun. Sometimes they use somebody getting shot by the police as an excuse to loot, rob, and steal. But I think this time her and her group, they were just out doing it for fun. Meatloaf, and she's been made famous in the black community. She became famous for going out and acting ratchet and ghetto. Here she is, a big fat black woman. I don't think I gotta, just look at her. Disgusting. Disgusting. Now, what are black women gonna say? They're gonna say, "You go, bitch. You go, bitch. Go, girl. Twerk, twerk, twerk." But this is embarrassing, and you wonder why you lose jobs. You wonder why people don't have sympathy for you while you're living in Section 8 with all them damn nappy-headed kids. You wonder why. Well, it's because you accept this kind of cultural filth. And notice all the homosexuals on the show. And that's a very interesting thing that you'll see with the ratchet type of black women, not the black women who watch woke progressive, not them. But, that's a common trend you'll see with ratchet black women. They'll always have a homosexual friend. Or they'll have a few different homosexuals in their friend group. Why is that? Well, it's because kindred spirits, the homosexual spirit it's a disorder. It's confusion of the highest order. It's disorder. Homosexuality represents disorder. A man being with a man, a woman being with a woman. That's simply disorder. That's not what nature intended. That's not the order in which nature intended. What did nature intend? We all know nature intended man and woman. Well, homosexuality represents major disorder. And then women behaving in this way, cussing, being sexually perverted, cussing, fighting, that's disorder. So you get all these disorders wrapped into one, and you have a culturally destructive show like Baddies. Like I said earlier, it's a show that should be protested off the air, not by white people, but by black people. But we allow people to come into our community, exploit us. This show is produced by a woman. What's her name? I think Natalie something. But the woman isn't even black. All right, she's like Puerto Rican and Dominican or something. We allow these people, Natalie Nunn, I think that's her name, Natalie Nunn. But we allow these people to come into our communities, make us look like absolute baboons, chimpanzees, and then have the nerve to complain, why are we losing so many jobs? Why are black women losing so many jobs? Well, if you look at the bitch in the mirror, maybe you'll be able to figure out why you're losing so many jobs. And at this point, people always say, well, woke, you sell out your own community for some butter biscuits. You sell out the whole community for some butter biscuits. And first of all, no, I wouldn't. I'd never sell out the community for butter biscuits. Now, if we're talking about a big old pot of pig feet and some neck bones, you niggas are gone. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I probably would sell out the black community for a big old pot of, I love pig feet, for a big old pot of pig feet and some neck bones. I love pig feet. I love neck bones. Some cornbread. I think that would be a fair trade-off. But at this rate, I'm starting to understand where the Africans were coming from whenever they sold off the bad ones into slavery. They were selling off the meatloafs. They were selling off the saucy Santanas. They were saying that, this type of cultural filth, no, please enslave them, take them off our hands, you can have them. Maybe you can whip some discipline into them. And at this point, what we have to do is people know, of course, we can't sell meatloaf and we can't sell saucy Santana and we can't sell the baddies. We can't sell them into slavery yet. But until that time comes, there needs to be a revolution in the black community where all of our energy is focused, engaged towards speaking out against this. And the Barack Obamas, they're not doing it. The rappers, they're not doing it. In fact, the rappers prop it up. The Barack Obamas prop it up. He was our first gay president. lit the White House up in rainbow colors. The Kamala Harris's, she props up this type of degenerate culture. Look at how she had Meg the Stallion on stage twerking at a campaign rally. What type of cultural consequences do they think this will lead to? Well, the fact of the matter is they pretend they care when they actually don't. The only people who care are people like me, who are willing to tell you the truth as a black person and willing to tell you that as long as we keep up this degeneracy, you think the Section 8 program being cut, you think that's bad? You think losing 106,000 jobs in 1 month, you think that's bad? Just wait and see what will happen to us as a community. Wait until we see the destruction that will be inevitable if we continue this state of degeneracy, if we continue with shows like Baddies. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section, and remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.